This is the story of why I was bullied as a kid for liking Marathon and Bungie games. Marathon was actually my first FPS game and is what got me into the genre in the first place. Marathon was released for Mac in 1994 when I was 9 years old. You may not know what gaming on a Mac was like back then, but there were literally hardly any AA or AAA games on Mac. In fact, do you know how it's a meme that Doom runs on everything? They didn't even port it to Mac until they realized Marathon was popular. As a Mac gamer in the 90s, we could always count on two main companies to provide us with high quality gaming experiences that were comparable to anything on Windows: Bungie and Blizzard. But what made Bungie so special is for almost a decade, they were a Mac first developer. This put them in a unique position for gamers who only had access to a Mac because we all waited patiently for every release due to the overall lack of games. It is true that there were a few other series that found huge success on Mac, and you can actually trace a lot of my gaming taste today by looking at the limited options we had, like Civilization, SimCity, and Myst. Bungie games are always a huge event for me because I was so used to friends bragging to me about PC games coming out I couldn't play, and it was the only time I could show them an interesting Mac game they couldn't play. These were always day one events for me. Pathways to Darkness, the Marathon series, the Myth games, which are hugely underrated, Oni.
I'm Oni, your onboard navigational intelligence.
And then there's a little game called Halo. Halo was first planned to be within the Marathon universe and was originally announced by Steve Jobs as a high-end Mac exclusive game, and I was pumped.
This game is going to ship early next year from Bungie, and this is the first time anybody has ever seen it. And so I'm very happy to welcome on the stage Jason Jones, who is the co-founder of Bungie and the Halo project lead. Halo is the name of this game, and we're going to see, for the first time, Halo. Welcome, Jason.
Our game's called Halo, and like Steve said, nobody's seen it before. This is the first time we've ever showed it in public. Everything you're about to see is being rendered in real time on a Macintosh.
Finally, it was my turn to brag. I showed all my PC friends what we were about to have that they couldn't play. Finally, Mac was getting a game worth talking about. And then
Microsoft is buying Bungie software products to add games for its personal computers and Xbox video game console. Bungie's computer and video games include a sci-fi action epic dubbed Halo. What does Bungie do for Microsoft?
Primarily, you're going to have the opportunity for all their properties, well, some of their properties, this game Halo and a game called Marathon, will now be owned by Microsoft.
I got mega bullied for that one. I don't even want to talk about how that felt as a fan, having the one company putting dedication and care into Mac games being ripped away because Microsoft needed an exclusive for their new Xbox console. The rest, of course, is history. Halo changed the gaming landscape. No longer was Bungie an obscure Mac developer, they were the premier FPS dev. And I've continued to be a day one fan. From every Halo to Destiny 1 and 2, and now to 2026 back at Marathon. It's actually such a surreal feeling for people to be talking about Marathon in 2026. 30 years ago, it was a game I was teased about playing and essentially had to keep to myself. Now it's one of the biggest FPS launches of the year. Just seeing the logo on my screen is enough to rewind time for me. I want you to keep something in mind when you play the game. Some of the people you encounter could have a story similar to mine. For us, this game is more than just the latest game to try for a week until moving on to the next game. It's not just a nostalgia thing either. It represents the literal starting point of me with this genre. I'm sure you're likely to be younger than me, with quicker reflexes, better skills. You'll likely end up laughing as you easily take me out and start going through my meager loot. It'll probably be just another small victory you'll forget about by the next round. But as I load back into the lobby, having lost all my gear, a part of me will be happy for you. Happy that I got to contribute to some of your first enjoyable moments in Marathon.